watching the Florida Sports Programming Network.
Welcome, high school baseball fans, to FSPN's coverage of South Florida high school baseball. And we have a good one for you today. The visiting Tocoi Creek Toros are here in Miami from Jacksonville to face the Gulliver Prep Raiders. The Toros are led by their head coach, Phil Weiser, and the Gulliver Prep Raiders are led by their head coach, Arby Sosa. We should have a good one for you today. On the mound for the Toros, it's Tommy Glasspool, and on the mound for the Raiders, it's Chase Churn. So we'll be right back with the starting lineups and the defense right after this. Welcome, high school baseball fans, to FSPN's coverage of high school baseball. And we have a good one for you today. A team from San Augustine that's led by head coach Phil Weiser. The Tocoi Creek Toros have come to pay a visit to the Gulliver Prep Raiders, and they're led by their head coach, Arby Sosa. Our broadcast today has been brought to you by Florida State Tentless Termite Treatments. And we should have a good one today. On the mound for the Gulliver Prep Raiders is the lefty, Chase Churney. And let's go over the starting lineup for the visiting Toros. Leading off is a center fielder, Mikey Bergamo. Then it's Jackson Sizemore, and he'll be playing left field, followed by Aiden Ramos, the third baseman. Playing second base and batting fourth, it's Chase Pate. Then playing right field and batting fifth, it's Nate Wade, and he'll be followed by Tommy Glasspool, who's the pitcher and the DH. Seventh batter is Brody Eisenhuth, and he'll be the catcher. Cam Milner's playing first base and batting eighth. And the ninth batter is Carter Alvarez, and he'll be playing shortstop for the visiting Tocoi Creek Toros. Let's go over the defense for the home team, the Gulliver Prep Raiders. On the mound is the lefty, Chase Churney. Behind the plate, it's Darwin Vargas. At third base, it's Alex Aparicio. The shortstop is Justin Parson. Aiden Falcone will be playing second base. Lefty Julian Herrera will be playing first base. Omar Falcone is in right field. Luis Flores is the center fielder. And Brian Sanchez, the left fielder, rounds out the defense for the home team, the Arby Sosa-led Gulliver Prep Raiders. And we're about to get underway with the first batter stepping in the box. It's the center fielder for the Tocoi Creek Toros, Mikey Bergamo. And he's going to be facing the lefty, Chase Churney. Beautiful St. Patrick's Day Monday. Pull up a chair. Join us. First pitch is swung on for a strike. And it's turned out to be a great afternoon. Not a cloud in the sky. Defense. Let's bring up the scoreboard and let's get underway. That one didn't miss by much. We're at beautiful Gulliver Prep on a windy Monday, St. Patrick's Day. So pull up a chair. We're going to have a couple hours of some hardball, some high school baseball. Here's the 1-2 to Bergamo, and it's taken for a strike called. Strike three.
The left fielder, number 11.
One out, top of the first inning. It'll bring up Jackson Sizemore. Playing third base for the Raiders is Alex Aparicio. Next to him at shortstop is Justin Parson. Aiden Falcone is at second base. Julian Herrera is the first baseman. Omar Falcone is in right field. Luis Flores in center field. And Brian Sanchez rounds out the defense for Arby Sosa's Gulliver Prep Raiders. We gave him some luck on our show last Sunday. The lefty Churn. Off-speed pitch a little high. One out, scoreless game. Top of the first inning at Gulliver Prep Field. That one's taken high to make the count 2 balls and 1 strike. In the dugout with Arby, it's Ivan Montaigne, Andre Torres. Sizemore wears that one, and he'll walk down to first base with 1 out and a scoreless game. Aiden Ramos steps into the plate for the Tocoi Creek Toros. All the way from San Augustine. They're in St. Johns County. They're bringing in an 11-2 record, and it's a homecoming of sorts for Phil Weiser, the head coach. There's a line drive hit foul. Phil Weiser, not too many years ago, was coaching the Coral Gables Cavaliers. And he was also the head coach of the Miami Springs Golden Hawks, of which he'll play in the next 2 consecutive days. This is the first of 3 for the Toros. There's a throw over for Cherney. The Toros are going to face the Cavaliers tomorrow, and the Miami Springs Golden Hawks, the 10-1 Hawks. So the Toros have their hands full here today with the Gulliver Prep Raiders, who are looking for another win. They haven't been easy to come by for RB Sosa this year. There's a look at Sizemore on first base. Beautiful day for baseball, not a cloud in the sky. It is breezy. It is a little windy. There's a curveball over for a strike for Cherney. 1 ball, 2 strikes. To the third batter, Aiden Ramos, and he lifts that one up in the air to Sanchez in left field, and he makes a leaping grab for the second out of the inning. It's going to bring up the second baseman, Aiden Ramos. Chase Pate. For the Toros, he'll be followed by Nate Wade. Then it's Tommy Glasspool, Brody Eisenworth, Cam Milner, and then it's Carter Alvarez. All of them are going to face the lefty, Chase Cherney. Swing and a miss. We had Chase Cherney on our player profile. If you haven't seen Inside the Park this Sunday, it's in our archives. Take a look at the piece that Chappie did on, and that one's lifted high again to Sanchez in left field. Parsons coming out, but Sanchez makes the third out of the inning. The Toros leave 1. They get none, and we head to the bottom of the first with your score 0-0, and the Gulliver Prep Raiders are coming up to bat, and you're watching FSPN. You're watching Miami-Dade and Broward County High School Baseball on the Florida Sports Programming Network. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on Instagram for a list of upcoming events. And every Sunday, it's Inside the Park, the weekly recap show with your hosts, Chappie Castillo and Uncle Muggs. Welcome back, high school baseball fans, to FSPN's coverage of high school baseball, and we have a good one. The Toros from Tocoi Creek that are led by Phil Weiser, and if that name sounds familiar, he used to coach Coral Gables and Miami Springs, and he'll be facing the Gulliver Prep Raiders. All right, the leadoff batter, Julian Herrera, is in there to face Tommy Glasspool. Tommy's first pitch. Let's go over the starting lineup when we get a second. I can tell you the batteries, Tommy Glasspool and Brody Eisenhuth is behind the plate. Leadoff batters, Julian Herrera. Second batter will be Alex Aparicio. He'll be followed by Justin Parson. Then it's Chase Cherney. Darwin Vargas is the catcher. Luis Flores playing center field is batting 6th. Omar Falcon is in right field batting 7th. Brian Sanchez batting 8th. And Aiden Falcon rounds out the lineup for the home team. The left-handed hitting Herrera is up 3 balls and no strikes. Your pitcher's Tommy Glasspool. Brody Eisenhuth behind the plate. Aiden Ramos is at third base for these Toros. There's a strike. Uncle Muggs is so close to the action, I could smell the pine tar. In fact, I got sprayed with pine tar just a second ago. The Toros are coming in here red hot, 11-2. And they're going to face 3 Miami teams. And there's a line drive to second, right up the middle for a base hit, a leadoff base hit for Julian Herrera and the Raiders. Now we got a quick moment. Let's go over the defense for the Toros. While Paricio's in the box. I said Aiden Ramos was at third base. There's a ground ball right past Ramos. Then it's Carter Alvarez. He's the shortstop. Chase Pate will be playing second base. Cam Milner's the first baseman. Nate Wade is in right field. Mikey Bergamo's the center fielder. And Jackson Sizemore rounds out the defense for the visiting Toros of Tocoi Creek. Right here we have the leadoff man on, Julian Herrera, who hit a base hit. Aparicio's at bat, the right-handed batting third baseman. And there's an off-speed pitch over for a strike with a runner on first base and the likes of Julian Herrera. Let's see if Coach Sosa puts something in going here. And there he goes. Swing and a miss. The runner goes. It's going to be a strikeout. There was a hit and run on. So we're going to have one out for the third batter, Justin Parson. Justin Parson steps in the box. He's a big third batter. He's the shortstop for these Raiders. He's going to face Tommy Glasspool with Julian Herrera standing on second base. 1-1 the count to the third batter. On deck is Chase Cherney. The 2-2 swung on a miss, and that's 2 consecutive strikeouts for the Toros right-hander, and he'll face the fourth batter, the pitcher DH Chase Cherney. Cherney from the left side is going to try to cash in on a leadoff base hit from Julian Herrera, who's standing on second base. Cherney's been hot. We had a home run last week, a double. We had Cherney on the player spotlight. Uncle Muggs here at Gulliver Prep Field, right next to the dugout. I mean, I don't feel like a player today. Swing and a miss. A strike here will get the Toros back in the dugout. A base hit will give the Raiders the lead. And we're going to do that one all over again. Beautiful afternoon for baseball. St. Patrick's Day here at Gulliver Prep Field. The Toros are visiting from the Jacksonville area. And there's strike 3. Glasspool strikes out the side. The Raiders leave one. They get none. We head to the top of the second inning with no score, and the Toros are coming up to bat. And you're watching FSPN. Welcome back, high school baseball fans, for a good one here from Gulliver Prep Field. 2 fresh teams on FSPN. The Toros from Tocoi Creek, led by their head coach, Phil Weiser. He's back. Phil's back in Miami to face the Gulliver Prep Raiders that are led by R.B. Sosa. For the Toros, it's the 5th, 6th, and 7th batter, Nate Wade, Tommy Glasspool, and Brody Eisenworth. And they're all going to face the lefty, Chase Cherney. Top of the second in a scoreless game. The home team, the Gulliver Preps, are wearing the white with the blue pinstripes and the high dark blue socks. The visiting Toros are wearing the black with the orange pinstripes. A nice look to them. Both teams actually a really good look. Gulliver with the classic baseball look. And there's a walk to the leadoff batter, Nate Wade. It'll bring up Tommy Glasspool. And then it'll be Brody Eisenhuth halfway through the season. Glasspool swings at the first pitch and hits it foul. The wind's blowing out. The field looks incredible. R.B. Sosa and his crew, and he's got him picked off. He's got Wade in a rundown, and they're going to say it was a balk. First base umpire is going to say it's a balk. Nate Wade's going to make his way to second base, but not before a few words from R.B. Sosa. Julian Herrera is at first base. Aiden Falcon is at second base. Justin Parsons, the shortstop. Alex Aparicio's at third base. Your outfield is Sanchez, Luis Flores in center field, and Omar Falcon in right field. Your coaches are R.B. Sosa, Ivan Montaigne, and a special thanks to the athletic director, Andre Torres, and the in-house resident DJ, Larry Fitz. Runner on second in a scoreless game. Cherney's pitch is lifted up high in the infield. I mean, really high. Aparicio calls it, and it falls between Aparicio and Parson, but they're going to tag him out at second base. Wade tried to take an extra base, a little greedy there. And Aparicio needs some Dramamine because he got dizzy on that one. So the hustling Tommy Glasspool made it all the way to second base on that towering pop fly to the infield. and he's going to switch places with Nate Wade, but there's going to be one out now for the catcher, Brody Eisenhuth, and he steps in from the right side to face the lefty Cherney with one out and a runner on second base for the visiting Toros all the way from San Augustine. They'll be here for 3 games. This is the first of 3. There'll be a Coral Gables tomorrow, and then Miami Springs on Wednesday, and that ball's fouled into the parking lot. The Toros with a chance to score. They have a runner on second base. Falcone holding him on. There's a ball hit to the infield again. Looks a lot like the other one. This time Falcone takes over, makes the second out of the inning for the Raiders. And that's going to bring up Cam Milner, the first baseman. With 2 outs and a runner on second base, the Toros send up the first baseman, Cam Milner, from the left side. He looks at the first one from Cherney for a ball. Cherney from the stretch. Parson right behind the runner, and there's a ground ball to Falcone on 2 hops. He picks it up, fires over to Herrera for the third out. The Toros are going to leave one. They get none, and we're going to head to the bottom of the second inning with no score here from Gulliver Prep Raider Field. Thanks for watching FSPN.
You're watching the Florida Sports Programming Network.
Welcome back, high school baseball fans, to Gulliver Prep. We have a good one between the visiting Toros that are led by Phil Weiser. That's right, if you remember the name, he was the Coral Gables head coach, the Miami Springs Hawks head coach, and now he's up in San Augustine coaching these Toros that are 11-2, and they started off the season 7-1. The starting pitcher is Tommy Glasspool, the big righty. He's still in there, and he's going to face the number 5, 6, and 7 batter for these Raiders. Darwin Vargas is the catcher. He's in there right now. He'll be followed by Luis Flores. And then it's Omar Falcone and Brian Sanchez. Two and one to count. Bottom of the second, no score from Gulliver Prep Field on a beautiful St. Patrick's Day. Uncle Muggs bringing you the play-by-play. And it's my pleasure to do this for you guys and for the parents that can't make it to these games. The count goes full to Darwin Vargas. Luis Flores is on deck. Here's the payoff pitch. An easy take for Vargas. The home team is going to have a leadoff batter on. Flores steps in the box for RB Sosa's Gulliver Prep Raiders with a runner on first base. And that's 2 consecutive innings that the Raiders have their leadoff man on. Let's see if they can cash in on this one. And let's see if head coach Sosa reaches into his toolbox of strategy here and maybe sends the runner. He did it last time. We have a courtesy runner for Vargas. Sizemore throws too high. Throws them hard, but boy, they're high. Easy takes for Flores. Omar Falcone is on deck. The Raiders looking to cash in here. 2-0 the count. We got a hitter's count. Let's see if he has a green light. Another easy take, an off-speed pitch around the eyebrows. I wouldn't be surprised if Flores takes a pitch here. Keith Rivera is the courtesy runner for Vargas, and it's going to bring up Omar Falcone. He's been seeing the ball very well lately. He'll face the right-handed Glasspool with runners on first and second base in a scoreless game, bottom of the second inning. If we can get a look at the runners there. Seventh batter, Falcone, is in the box with a chance to get a base hit. A nice fastball there by Glasspool. Boy, he's got to be up in the high 80s. Tommy Glasspool's the pitcher for the Toros. He's facing Omar Falcone. The count goes full to Falcone. Out today where 90% of the time it's blowing in. There's a curveball taken for a strike 3 called. Torres, Heath Ribeiro came in to run for Vargas. Tommy Glasspool's the pitcher for the visiting Tocoi Creek Toros. And that didn't miss by much. Aiden Falcone is on deck. He's the last batter, and if he gets on, it'll be Julian Herrera, the leadoff batter for the Raiders. And the Raiders are looking to cash in here in a scoreless game. Bottom of the second inning. Another easy take there for a Raider batter. Runners on first and second base for the home team. Another easy take there for Sanchez. And already we have a little bit of movement in the Tocoi Creek bullpen. They're sending somebody else out there. And a walk here will get you a mound visit, I'm pretty sure. And that's 4 in a row. It's going to load the bases with the Raiders for the last batter, Aiden Falcone. Aiden Falcone comes up with the bases loaded in a scoreless game with 1 out from Gulliver Prep Field. And here's the mound visit right on cue. Here comes head coach Phil Weiser. I mean, you could call me Muggs or Tradamus if you want to, but it's pretty obvious when, you got 3 walks in a row, sandwiched by a strikeout, you're going to get a visit from your head coach. Bottom of the second inning of a scoreless game from Gulliver Prep Raider Field. I wouldn't be surprised if Aiden's taking a pitch here. He's going to take a strike at least. 1 out, bases loaded. There's one for a strike to even the count. Sizemore delivers, and there's a ground ball over the third baseman, Ramos. It's going to score 1. Sizemore comes up with the throw to home plate, and we're going to have a play at the plate. No, we're not. It's going to be 2-0 in favor of the home team, the Raiders. 2 runs already in the bottom of the second inning, 1 out. They have runners on first and second base. They're going to bring up the leadoff batter, Julian Herrera, who singled his first time up. And the left-handed batting first baseman is going to face the starter for the Toros for the second time, Tommy Glasspool. And that's just what the doctor ordered for R.B. Souza's Raiders. 2 runs early in the game. And they're not done, folks. They've got the heart of the order coming up. Herrera swings and skies that one up in the air. If he's got room, the catcher and just goes out of play for 1 strike and 1 ball to the leadoff batter, Julian Herrera. 2 balls and 1 strike to Herrera. Swing, and he pops that one high over to third base. The last time it was an adventure. Ramos takes care of it now for the second out of the inning for the Toros. 2-0 in the bottom of the second inning, and they're not done. They have runners on first and second, and there's been some traffic on the bases for the Gulliver Raiders. Brody Eisenhuth with a great stop, and now a late run, and they're going to get him at third. Wow, Sanchez is going to be the third out of the inning, so the Raiders are going to leave 2. They're going to get 2. We're going to head to the top of the third inning, 2-0 in favor of the home team, and you're watching FSPN. Welcome back, high school baseball fans, to the top of the third inning where we have a good one between the Tocoi Creek Toros and the home team, the Gulliver Prep Raiders, that are up 2-0. And we have some technical difficulties right now. We just lost our Wi-Fi. Give us a minute. We'll try to get it back as soon as possible. Stand by. Welcome back, high school baseball fans, to FSPN's coverage of high school baseball. We have a good one between the Tocoi Creek Toros and the home team, the Gulliver Prep Raiders. And we apologize. We lost our Wi-Fi signal in the top of the third inning. You didn't miss much. The Creek Toros sent up 4 batters. They got 3 outs and nothing happened. And right now we're in the bottom of the third inning. And the Gulliver Prep Raiders are going to send up to bat Alex Aparicio, Justin Parson, and Chase Chernin. And they're all going to face the big right-hander, Tommy Glasspool. Aparicio struck out his last time up. Glasspool's pitch is lifted to the right side. It's going to be Nate Wade over there making the play for the first out of the inning. The Raiders are going to send up their shortstop, Justin Parson, in a 2-0 ball game. We're in the bottom of the third inning. The Tocoi Creek Toros that are led by their head coach, Phil Weiser, who's making a homecoming. Phil's coming back to Miami, but it's only for a week. He'll play the Raiders today, the Coral Gables Cavaliers tomorrow, and the Miami Springs Golden Hawks on Wednesday. Nice trip. In the box now is Justin Parson, the shortstop. Swings and misses at that one. Parson struck out his first time up, and he's looking to get the Raiders on track here in the bottom of the third inning. Glasspool's pitch is swung on and popped away foul. With 1 out in the bottom of the third inning, the Raiders are going to send up Justin Parson, the shortstop, to face the big right-hander Tommy Glasspool. Parson struck out his last at-bat. Glasspool, the big righty, takes his sign from Brody Eisenhuth. And that ball slapped into right field. A clean base hit. Parsons is rounding second. Bergamo had a little trouble with it. And Parson is going to be on second base with a double and a chance to get something going here for the Raiders. And the fourth batter, the pitcher DH, is coming into the box now. Chase Cherny. Chase Cherny steps into the box. The pitcher DH trying to help his own cause. Justin Parson is on second base. There's the pitch from Glasspool. And it's hit hard and hard into center field. That's going to get by Bergamo. Parson has to wait to see if he caught the ball. And Cherny's going to cruise it to second base with a double. Back-to-back doubles. The Prep Raiders are going to have runners on second and third base for their catcher, Darwin Vargas. The fifth batter for the Prep Raiders, Darwin Vargas. The catcher steps into the box. He was walked his previous at-bat. He scored a run. The Raiders are up 2-0, but they're threatening here in the bottom of the third with 1 out and runners on second and third base. Here's the pitch from Glasspool, up high for ball 2. On deck is the center fielder, Flores. And that's ball 4. A walk to Luis Flores is going to load the bases. Sorry, a walk to Vargas is going to load the bases for Luis Flores, who walked and scored a run his last time up. 2-0 the count to Flores. Bases are loaded. They're full of Gulliver Prep Raiders for the center fielder. Parson, Cherny, and Vargas are all on base. A base hit here will extend the lead. It's already 2-0. And there's a strike taken, strike 3 call. With bases loaded and 2 outs, the Raiders are going to send up their 7th batter, Omar Falcon, the right fielder. Falcon struck out his first at-bat looking. And boy, with the wind blowing out, This will be a nice time for a granny. I haven't seen one of those in a long time, and here's just the guy that could do it. Falcone has been swinging a hot bat lately. One ball, no strikes. The count to the big right fielder, Omar Falcone. Takes that one inside. Bases are full of Raiders. Gulliver's up 2-0 in the bottom of the third inning, and they're looking to extend the lead. Boy, I'd love to see a grand slam here. Haven't seen one of those in a long time. Parson, Cherney, and Vargas are all on the bases. And there's a pitch, and that's driven high and deep, and he's going to go Green Day on him. It's something unpredictable, but in the end, it's right. And Omar Falcone, as you round the bases, I hope you have the time of your life. And that gives the Raiders a 6-0 lead in the bottom of the third inning. Let's give it up for Omar Falcone. Boy, what a time for a grand slam. Omar Falcone on St. Patrick's Day finds some luck, and he finds the other side of the fence. And it's 6-0 in the bottom of the third inning in favor of the home team. Brian Sanchez is your batter. Boy, and I haven't seen a grand slam in a long time, but that was a beauty. Straight away center field. Sanchez takes 2 balls. Your score is 6-0 in the bottom of the third inning. Gulliver Prep all over the Tocoi Creek Toros. Sanchez hits one high, foul ball. Boy, what a bomb. What a good time to hit one, too. Here's a 1-ball, 2-strike pitch, swung on and missed. The Gulliver Prep Raiders are going to leave none, but they're going to get 4, and we're going to head to the top of the fourth inning with your score 6-0 in favor of R.B. Souza's Gulliver Prep Raiders. You're watching FSPN. You're watching Miami-Dade and Broward County High School Baseball on the Florida Sports Programming Network. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on Instagram for a list of upcoming events. And every Sunday, it's Inside the Park, the weekly recap show with your hosts, Chappie Castillo and Uncle Muggs. Welcome back, high school baseball fans, to a good game here between the Tocoi Creek Toros from St. Augustine that came down to visit the Gulliver Prep Raiders that are led by head coach R.B. Souza. On the mound is Chase Cherney, and he just struck out Chase Pate for the first out in the top of the fourth inning. The Toros will bring up Nate Wade, the right fielder. Nate Wade fly to left field his first time out. And with one out, he's trying to reach base here for the Toros that are down 6-0 to the Gulliver Prep Raiders, where they've just come out and just punched them in the face. 2 runs and now 4 runs makes it 6. There's a strike called to Nate Wade. Sorry, Nate walked his first time up. Was gunned down at third base. And there's a ball that's hit down to third base. And he gets bobbled by the third baseman. It's going to be safe. Boy, no chance there for Alex Aparicio. And that's going to bring up the pitcher, Tommy Glasspool, the pitcher DH, with a runner on first base and 1 out in the top of the fourth inning in a 6-0 game. And this is what the Toros need. They need some traffic on the bases. There's a ball low to Glasspool. Nate Wade's on first base. There's a strike called. Your pitcher is Chase Cherney. Parson and Falcone are your double play combination. And there's one low that gets away from Vargas. The throw down to second is in time. He got him. A good strong throw by Vargas for the second out of the inning. Boy, what a gun. 2 outs now, top of the 4th inning. Pitcher trying to help his own cause. And I'll tell you, it looked like Wade came up a little limpy there. Six to 0. Who would have thunk it? The 11-2 Toros. There's one slap foul to the right side. If there's room over there. Did he make the play? Uncle Muggs can't see from here. That's going to be a foul ball. Glasspool's going to come up again to face the lefty, Chase Cherney. The top of the 4th, a 6 to 0 ball game. There's a ground ball to Cherney. He's going to flip over to first. And he's going to be safe. All right. Cherney could have put a little bit more on that ball, a little more oomph, and got it there on a line drive, but he lobbed it. It looked like a fadeaway jump shot. The Toros are going to have a runner on first base with 2 out. It's going to bring up the catcher, Eisenhuth, to face the lefty Cherney, who puts one over for a strike. And I'm sure that Cherney's going to get a talking to when he gets back in the dugout from head coach Sosa or Ivan, or somebody's going to talk to this guy. If not, I'll go out there and tell him there's a line drive hit to the backhand of Parsons, who comes up across the diamond but not in time. And the Toros are going to have runners on first and second base. Coach now with 2 outs and 2 runners on, Cam Milner's your batter. An infield hit by Eisenhuth. Nate Wade started the inning with a base hit.
Running for the Toros, number 10, Jaden Kleeman.
And then Glasspool got on, and he got chopped down at second base. So now runners on first and second base with 2 outs. Top of the 4th inning. Chase puts one over for a strike. Milner will be followed by Carter Alvarez. And if Alvarez gets on, it'll be the leadoff batter, Mikey Bergamo, the center fielder. There's an off-speed pitch swung right through it from the big left-handed Cam Milner. A strike here will get the Raiders back in the dugout. A base hit will get a run for the Toros. What's it going to be? There's the 1-2, and that one's hit foul. Please don't hit my car. Ooh, got somebody's car. 2 strikes to Cam Milner. 2 runners on for the visiting Tocoi Creek Toros. And they're out of San Augustine area, St. Johns County. They're led by Phil Weiser, former Gables, former Miami Springs Hawks head coach. 11-2. We're at Raider Field, where strangely enough, the wind is blowing out today. And if you're familiar with Raider Field, it sits on the bay, Biscayne Bay, where the wind's always blowing in off of the ocean. And there's one that's lopped in there and just got a piece of it. The count goes even to the left-handed batting Cam Milner. Chase Cherney's your starter. He's still in the ball game. Uncle Muggs from Gulliver Prep, and that one's a ground ball right back to Cherney. He's not even going to throw it this time. He's going to run it halfway there and underhand it for the 3rd out. The Toros are going to leave 2. They get none. We head to the bottom of the 4th inning, and your score is 6-0 in favor of the home team, the Raiders.
You're watching the Florida Sports Programming Network.
6-0 in the bottom of the fourth inning. Aiden Falcone is the batter. He's the last batter for the Raiders. He'll be followed by Julian Herrera. Then it'll be Alex Aparicio and Justin Parson, in case anybody gets on. Boy, it's been a pretty exciting game so far. I'm glad you could join us. A grand slam off the bat of Omar Falcone. Your pitcher's Bryson Williams. And there's a walk to the leadoff batter. That's going to bring up the leadoff batter, Julian Herrera. He flied to third base, and he got a base hit his first at bat. And with nobody out, he's coming up the left side to try to get something going here with no outs in a 6-0 game in the bottom of the fourth inning from Gulliver Prep Field, where the wind is blowing out. It's died down a little bit. It was very gusty. It's a beautiful day for baseball. It's St. Patrick's Day. I hope you're wearing green or I'm going to pinch you. Bryson Williams throws to first base. He's the right-hander. He came in for Tommy Glasspool. He was the starter for these Tocoi Creek Toros that are led by Phil Weiser. A homecoming of sorts for Phil, playing Gulliver today. And there's a ground ball hit to the right side. Pate picks it up, goes to second for Alvarez, who tries to come back for first to double up, but he's not going to get the speedy Herrera, and that's going to bring up Alex Aparicio. Alex Aparicio is the batter for the Gulliver Raiders. He's the third baseman, the second batter. He struck out and flied out. Julian Herrera's on first base. He got there by a fielder's choice. Aiden Falcone was the leadoff batter, and he got walked, and there goes the runner. That ball gets away from Eisenhuth. And now he's got a runner in scoring position with one out in a 6-0 game. Takes a look at Herrera. Now he comes to the plate. Easy take. Oh, and that got him. That nipped him in the face guard. Just nipped him. And the Raiders are going to have runners on first and second. Aiden Falcone started this inning with a walk. He was cut down on second base by a fielder's choice off the bat of Herrera, who's standing on second base, and that ball's lifted high again into shallow left field. It's called by Sizemore, and he's going to make the catch falling backwards for the second out of the inning. Chase Cherney, who's the starting pitcher, he's also the DH for these Gulliver Prep Raiders, and he's trying to help his own cause here with two outs. No pitch, time called by the umpire. Julian Herrera standing on second base. Aparicio, who was hit by a pitch, standing on first base for the left-handed batting Chase Cherney. Swings right through that one. 6-0. Bottom of the fourth. The Raiders looking for more, and that one's hit to center field. Bergamo's got a beat on it. He's going to make the third out of the inning. The Raiders are going to leave two. They get none. We head to the top of the fifth inning with your score 6-0 in favor of the home team, the Gulliver Prep Raiders, and you're watching FSPN. Welcome back, high school baseball fans, to FSPN's coverage of high school baseball. We're at Gulliver Prep watching a game between the San Augustine's Tocoi Creek Toros and the Gulliver Prep Raiders. And it's 6-0. Chase Chern was your starter. He's still in the ball game. He's facing Carter Alvarez. He's the last batter and the shortstop for the Toros. He'll be followed by Mikey Bergamo, who's been busy out in center field. Then it's Jackson Sizemore and Aiden Ramos. The lefty Cherney falls behind, 3 balls and no strikes. The outfield is Brian Sanchez, Luis Flores in center field, and Omar Falcone's in right field. And 4 consecutive balls are going to load the bases for the visiting Toros. All right, Alec Hyde, one of the coaches for Gulliver, is going to go out and talk to Cherney. See if he can't settle him down a little bit with no one out in the top of the 5th inning in a 6-0 ball game. I mean, all you got to do here is just throw strikes, pitch to contact, trust your defense, and get some quick outs. The home team's up. The Gulliver Prep Raiders, their starter's still in there. And that one smoked to left field. And that's going to short hop the fence or hit the bottom of the fence. Alvarez is going to go to third. The throw comes into second. Bergamo's going to have a double. And the Toros are going to have runners on second and third base with nobody out and a legitimate scoring opportunity here for Jackson Sizemore. Cherney working from that modified windup. It's not a full windup. It's not a stretch. It's kind of like a hybrid. And that's an easy take. The runner stays on third base. Good call there by Weiser. They would have got him a short backstop here at Gulliver Field. The Gulliver starter's on a short leash. And that one's popped high in the right field. Falcone's got a chance. He's coming in on it. And that one drops right in front of him. One run's going to score. They're going to get the runner at first. Ramos up to bat now. Bergamo's standing on third base. Six to 1 ball game now. That's in the dirt. Nice stop back there by Vargas. Sizemore, good-sized player. I'm sorry, Ramos. And he grounds out one past the diving Parson. And Bergamo's going to score the second run for the visiting Toros. All right, the batters Chase Pate with Aiden Ramos on first base. He has an RBI to his name. Nate Wade is on deck. The pitcher for the Raiders is still Chase Chern. And that one's slapped into right center field. Falcone and Flores both converge, and that falls between them. Pate's going to make it to second base. Ramos is going to stand on third, and I think that's going to be it for him. They've had enough. The Toros are trying to scratch their way back into this one. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back. Here comes the pitching coach, and we think we're going to have a change. Now we'll be right back. Thanks, everybody, for watching FSPN. All right, welcome back to Gulliver Prep Field. We have a new pitcher. His name is Rob Dickman. He's inherited 2 runners. Runners are on second and third base with 1 out. We're in the top of the 5th inning in a 6-2 ball game. The visiting Tocoi Creek. And there's a ripped base hit up the middle. One's going to score for sure. It's going to be 6-3. Here comes the throw from Flores, and a nice strong throw that's cut off by Herrera. But they're going to get a run here. They're going to cut the lead in half. It's 6-3. That one got away from Vargas. Nate Wade with an RBI. Scored Bergamo. And there's a ground ball right back off the glove of Dickman, and that's going to score the 4th run. Boy, he couldn't come up with that cleanly. And Nate Wade was running on contact. And that's 4 runs now for the visiting Toros. There's a nice breaking ball over for a strike. In case there's a play at the plate, it's Sanchez in left field, Flores and Falcone in right field. There goes the runner, throws to first, and he's going to make it in there easy. Now the Toros have runners in second and third, and he was picked off. Dickman with another nice move to first. Dickman's curve is hit over the third baseman. 1 run's going to score. Here comes the tying run to the plate. They're going to get him at second. No, he's going to slide in there safe. We have a tie game here. Eisenhuth goes into second base with a base hit and 2 RBIs. The new pitcher is Rob Dickman for the Gulliver Prep Raiders, and a little bit of bad luck there on St. Patrick's Day because that ground ball just went right over Aparicio at third base, and that's the second time we see that happen here at Gulliver Field. It's been pretty dry. There hasn't had a lot of rain here in South Florida lately, so the field is hard and dry. Parson is holding on the runner, the pinch runner now. Carter Alvarez was the leadoff batter, and there's a swing and a miss at a curveball. Nice pitch by Dickman, showing some composure there, bouncing back.
The shortstop, number 3, Carter Alvarez.
Big strikeout there for Dickman and the Raiders. This is the second time up this inning for Carter Alvarez. And this time he has a chance to give the Toros the lead with a runner on third base. So Jaden's on third base. Another off-speed pitch. That one's called a strike. No balls and 1 strike to the last batter for the Toros, and that one's roped to left field, but right at Sanchez, and he makes the final out. The Toros leave 1, but they're going to get 6. We're going to head to the bottom of the 5th inning, and you have a tie game. You're watching FSPN from Gulliver. Welcome back, everyone, to FSPN's coverage of high school baseball. We have a good one between a North Florida team and a South Florida team. The Toros of Tocoi Creek have paid a visit to Gulliver Prep, and they're not being very nice guests. They put up 6 in the top of the 5th inning to tie this game at 6-6. The new pitcher is Caleb Stockwell. He's a tall, lanky right-hander. He's going to face the 5th, 6th, and 7th batter for the Raiders, and Darwin Vargas, Luis Flores, and Omar Falcon. Count goes 1-1. Boy, they gave it all back in 1 inning. The Raiders had scored 2 in the bottom of the 2nd, 4 in the bottom of the 3rd. And they had a 6-0 lead. They were cruising, and all of a sudden the wheels fell off, and we have a tie game in the bottom of the 6th inning. There's the swing and a miss at a strike 3 for the first out. The center fielder, Luis Flores, steps into the box. He's walked, scored a run, struck out looking, and he's going to face Caleb Stockwell, who throws the first one over for a strike. Stockwell can get the ball to the plate in a hurry. Mikey Bergamo's in center field, and Jackson Sizemore's in left field for the Toros. Here's the payoff pitch. Swung on and missed. They say he missed that one. They're going to throw to first for the formality, and they're going to get the second out of the inning. He's going to face Omar Falcon. And he went bye. He actually went Green Day. He went full Green Day. Something unpredictable, but in the end, that's right. And he had the time of his life when he was rounding the bases. That was a grand slam, but it seems like that was ages ago. And it was only the bottom of the 3rd inning when these Raiders had a 6-0 lead. It's a tie game now. Let's see if Falcone can break it open again. There's a 3/4 arm slider that went over for a strike. Falcone has been on fire lately. Takes that one from Stockwell down low. And there's a swing and a miss. Stockwell strikes out the side. We head to the top of the 6th inning from Gulliver Prep Field in a tie game. And you're watching FSPN. Thanks for watching, everyone. You're watching Miami-Dade and Broward County High School Baseball on the Florida Sports Programming Network. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on Instagram for a list of upcoming events. And every Sunday, it's Inside the Park, the weekly recap show with your host, Chappie Castillo and Uncle Muggs. Welcome back to the top of the 6th inning, where we have a tie game between the visiting Toros of Tocoi Creek and the home team, the Gulliver Prep Raiders. The pitcher is Rob Dickman. The catcher is Darwin Vargas. And it'll be the leadoff batter, Mikey Bergamo, for the Toros, who's up to bat right now, and he hits a line drive right at the second baseman that makes a great play. Aiden Falcone with a circus catch on second base for the first out. Jackson Sizemore had a base hit his last time up. He was hit by a pitch before. Dickman's pitch is against the backstop. (3-1) is taken outside. Free pass for Sizemore. It's going to bring up Aiden Ramos. Head coach of the Raiders, R.B. Sosa, is adjusting his defense a little bit. He's bringing Flores over to the pull side of center field. Sizemore, a good hitter. Runner goes. The ball's hit into left center field. It's going to drop in there between Flores and Sanchez. Runner's going to go. They're going to send him. Toros have taken the lead. Boy, what a piece of hitting there by Aiden Ramos. Jackson Sizemore scores. And that's going to bring up Chase Pate. He's the second baseman. I'll tell you, Nico Rivera is coming in for Rob Dickman. He's going to face Chase Pate in a 7-6 game with a runner on second base. The visiting Toros, who were once down 6-0, now up 7-6 on a lucky St. Patrick's Day. Luck of the Irish. That first pitch is really high. They're pissed off that they call this. Runner goes. There's the throw from Vargas, and that's going to get away from the third baseman Aparicio and roll into left field. It's going to be 8-6. Now in favor of the Toros. Chase Pate's on second base. 2 across already this inning. 8 in total for the visiting Toros, and there's a strike called. Ribeiro's your pitcher, Nico. Up high. Another ball. That's not what you want from your reliever. You're watching FSPN. You're listening to Uncle Muggs. Here's Ribeiro's pitch. Swung on and missed by Tommy. Go Ribeiro to get on track here. Start finding the strike zone. Big Tommy Glasspool, tall, lanky, right-handed hitter. Here's the 2-2. Swung on and driven into right center field. The new right fielder out there for Falcone, number 22, and he makes a tremendous play. They're going to make an appeal on that tag up, and he's going to be safe. So runners are going to be in the corners. There's going to be 2 outs for Brody Eisenhuth. They're not done. That one's driven high and deep in the left field. Going back, and it goes off the top of the wall. Sanchez couldn't come up with it. There's number 9. The Toros are going to get 10 here in total. 4 in this inning. He flipped the script on this game. It was all Raiders for the first 4 innings. And now we're going to have to come back because pitching coach is coming out to make a change. You're watching FSPN. Thanks for joining us, everybody. We'll be right back right after this. Welcome back, high school baseball fans, to FSPN's coverage of high school baseball. We have a new arm. Julian Herrera is on the mound for the Raiders. And we have a pinch hitter. Blake Warner steps in for the Toros that are up 10-0. And there's one that got away from the catcher, Vargas. Kind of handed them the lead. And there's one that's lifted high and deep in the left field. Sanchez looks back, and you can in-sync that one. That one went by. A 2-run home run for the pinch hitter, Blake Warner. And that's going to give the visiting Toros the lead 12-6.
6. So 6 in the top of the 5th, 6 in the top of the 6th, and I guess that's the new lucky number on St. Patrick's Day for the Toros. They've put up 12 in total. There's one lazily hit the center field. The new center fielder, Sheffield, comes in. He doesn't get there in time. It loops in front of him for another base hit. Bergamo, not Mickey, Mikey Bergamo. And he lined out. He had a double, scored a run, and struck out looking his first time up. And he's going to face the lefty Julian Herrera with a runner on first base, 2 out. The Prep Raiders need to get back in the dugout and dig deep into the pot of gold on St. Patrick's Day. There goes the runner, and that one's lifted in right field. That one might go foul. We'll do that one all over again. Actually, that's a fair ball. There goes Carter. I can't see from where I'm from. He's going to run through the stop sign. Weiser had the stop sign. Now he's in a rundown. Parson throws it, and that's going to be a 3rd out of the inning. The Toros are going to leave 1, but they're going to get 6, the total of 12. 12-6 heading to the bottom of the 6th inning. And you're watching FSPN to the bottom of the 6th inning at Gulliver Prep Field, where we have a 12-13. Welcome back to Gulliver Prep Field, everyone. We have a 13-6 game. The visiting Toros of Tocoi Creek. There's a shot hit into right field. Boy, Sanchez is looking for extra bases, but this park is too small for that. Sizemore gives a Stockwell, Caleb Stockwell. He's the pitcher for the Toros. He gave up a leadoff base hit. In a 13-6 game, the Raiders send up Aiden Falcone. Brian Sanchez just singled to lead off the bottom of the 6th inning in a 13-6 game. That's right, 13-6. The Raiders were cruising 6-0 until the top of the 5th, and the Toros got 6 runs and then 7 runs. And it's 13-6, and your batter's Aiden Falcone. Like I mentioned, Brian Sanchez is on first base with a leadoff hit. Uncle Muggs here from Gulliver Prep. Oh, what a turnaround. And it was quick, too. Just like that. I mean, boom, out went the lights. The wheels fell off. Cherney was pitching good. He had a couple strikeouts. In that 5th inning, boy, doubles, couple 5-6 hits, a base on balls, an error. Hey, and there's a back-to-back base hits from the 8th and the 9th batter for these Prep Raiders. And if you want to mount a comeback, that's a way to start it off. All right, Herrera steps in, and the good thing about these small ballparks that you're in it no matter what's the score. It's 13-6 right now. The Raiders have runners on first and second for their leadoff batter, Julian Herrera. Julian's 1 for 2. Had a base hit. He got on by a fielder's choice, and he'll be followed by Alex Aparicio. Brody Eisenhuth comes out and talks to his right-hander, Caleb Stockwell, the 3rd pitcher for Phil Weiser's Tocoi Creek Toros. Sanchez on second, Falcone on first. Nobody out, bottom of the 6th. And you know what big leads are good for? Big comebacks. Can't have a big comeback without having a big lead. 13-6, bottom of the 6th. There's one top foul at the plate, and now the shadows are starting to creep across the infield. The batter and both batters' boxes are consumed in the shadows. The pitcher's out in the sun. It's going to be difficult for the batters to pick up the ball. Beautiful afternoon, evening here at Gulliver Prep. Mid-season matchup between the North Florida Tocoi Creek Toros. It's time to get out the chipping hammer. Start chipping away here if you're the Gulliver Prep Raiders. Just one at a time, that's all it takes. Sanchez on second, Falcone on first. Stockwell puts that one over for a strike. Herrera, the leadoff batter for these Raiders. He'll be followed by Alex Aparicio. Stockwell takes a peek at Sanchez, now comes to the plate, swing and a miss. No, he actually caught a piece of that one. I'm going to talk to the Gulliver Prep booster, have him build me a press box back here. I'm sitting almost at the end of the Gulliver Prep bench. I had pine tar sprayed on me, but it's okay. Runners on first and second, a 2-2 count to the leadoff batter. A small ballpark, anything can happen. We've seen a few balls leave the yard. They're the shadows I was talking about. Stockwell's pitch is hit into the right field for a base hit. They're going to hold Sanchez up at third, and they're going to have bases loaded for the home team for the Raiders in the bottom of the sixth, and this is how you chip away, folks. Aparicio's up to bat. All right, Aparicio steps into the plate, the third baseman. He struck out. He was hit by a pitch and flying out to right field. 3 consecutive hits for the Raiders. The score is 13-6. Nobody out. Bottom of the sixth. Stockwell's first pitch is a ball. Uncle Muggs, and we had a good one. I mean, it was 6-0 in favor of the home team. Then all of a sudden, St. Patrick's Day luck on the side of the Toros. They tied the game. It only lasted for a little while. In the following inning, they scored 7 more, and it's 13-6. Eisenhuth is coming out to have a word with Stockwell. Bases are full of Raiders. Fans on the edge of their seats here can barely hold themselves. Look at them. There's so much excitement here in Raiders. There they are. I'm going to start a wave for the Raiders. There we go. Uncle Muggs has to get the wave going here. Oh, yeah, now they're getting into it. Anything can happen in a small ballpark, folks. Stockwell gets one over for a strike. One ball, 2 strikes to the Raiders. Third baseman Alex Aparicio. Justin Parson is on deck. All right, quick time was called. Now we get back into it. Caleb Stockwell, the big right-handed pitcher for these visiting Toros, is facing the third baseman Alex Aparicio, and he swings and a miss at that curveball. Justin Parson, the shortstop, steps into the box for the Raiders with the bases loaded and 1 out in the bottom of the 6th inning to face the big right-hander, tall, lanky right-hander Caleb Stockwell. The Tocoi Creek Toros. 13-6. There's an off-speed pitch to even the count at 1-1. Stockwell is the third pitcher today for these Toros. We're looking to walk away with a victory here. Just 5 outs away. There's a swing and a miss. Parson will be followed by Chase Cherney. He was the starting pitcher in today's game. This game started at 4 o'clock. We're coming up on 6:30. The Shadows are consumed almost half of the infield already. And there's a big swing and a miss. Chase Cherney steps into the plate, and boy, I hope he's Irish, because on St. Patrick's Day, he's going to have to reach into the pot of luck and do what Falcone did, and maybe hit a grand slam here and make things more interesting. And Cherney hits a line drive in the left center field. That one's going to drop. It's going to roll all the way to the fence. The Raiders are going to score 1. The Raiders are going to score 2. The runners are going to get held up at second and third base. But that's how you chip away. That's how you chip away at a big lead. It's 13-8 now. Chase Chern stays hot for these Gulliver Prep Raiders. He hit that one. He was all over that Stockwell fastball, and he put it in the gap. Scored 2 runs for the Raiders, and they're not finished yet. They have runners on second and third base. It's 13-8. We're in the bottom of the 6th inning. Stockwell on the mound, the right-hander, and he's facing Darwin Vargas, the catcher. He's been walked twice. He struck out, but he scored 2 runs. Julian Herrera is the runner on third base. Chase Cherney is on second base. What a good piece of hitting by Chase Cherney. Boy, he stayed behind that one and drove it into the gap. 2 outs. Swung on and fouled at the plate. Two and one to count. A base hit here will make it very exciting. It'll bring it to a field goal. And then anything can happen. Onside kick, block punt. Swing and a miss, and an effective curveball there from Stockwell. Tight slider to the catcher. Base hit will get 2 runs. A strikeout will get the Toros back in the dugout. And a good eye there from the catcher. Wow, we got a good one here. 3-2, 2 outs. Here's the payoff pitch. Swung on and missed, and a strikeout for Stockwell. The Gulliver Prep Raiders are going to leave 2, but they're going to get 2. The score is 13-8. We're heading to the top of the 7th inning, and you're watching FSPN, everybody. Welcome back, high school baseball fans, to Gulliver Prep Field, where we have a 13-8 game in favor of the visiting Toros. The Tocoi Creek Toros have come to pay a visit to Gulliver Prep. The new pitcher on the mound is Alex Aparicio. Ribeiro is playing third base, Pete Ribeiro. Scores 13-8, top of the 7th inning. Swing and a miss for a nice fastball. Hernandez is on deck, another pinch hitter. And there's a strike called, number 15. Jacob Collins goes down on strikes. Nice live fastball from Alex Aparicio, good control. Hernandez steps in for Aiden Ramos. There's a strike 3 called. Only 2 quick strikeouts there for Alex Aparicio. Austin Pankey from the right side, and they're going to face the hard-throwing right-hander, Alex Aparicio, who's been beating up the strike zone this top of the 7th inning. He's trying to get his Gulliver Prep Raiders back in the dugout to chip away at this lead. There. A swing and a miss, and Alex strikes out the side. We're going to head to the bottom of the 7th in a 13-8 game from Gulliver Prep Field. This is Uncle Muggs. You're watching FSPN, everyone. Don't go away. I've seen crazier things happen. All right, welcome back to the bottom of the 7th inning between a good game between the Toros of Tocoi Creek and the Gulliver Prep Raiders, the home team. It's 13-8. We're down the last 3 strikes. We got a new pitcher on the mound. His right-handed pitcher, his name is Carter Lawrence, and he's going to face 6, 7, and 8 for the Raiders, and Luis Flores, Omar Falcon, and then it's Brian Sanchez, and then Aiden Falcon. That ball goes foul. Quickly 2 strikes to the batter. And before things get crazy, I want to thank Phil Weiser on that other side. Homecoming for him. On this side, I want to thank R.B. Sosa, Ivan Montaigne, Larry Fitz, the DJ, and the athletic director, Andre Torres, for letting us come out here and be a part of Gulliver Prep Raider baseball. Luis Flores is up to bat. He's a center fielder. There's a hard hit ground ball over to the third baseman, Ramos, and he throws it across for the first out to Milner. That's going to bring up Omar Falcon, the grand slam guy, Mr. Green Day. He needs a grand slam here. The only thing missing is 3 runners on base. Remember to watch Inside the Park. This Sunday was funny. It was our St. Patrick's Day special, and it'll be there perpetually for you to take a look at and laugh and enjoy. And it's been our pleasure to bring you these games, and there's strike 3 called to Falcon. Brian Sanchez is the final hope of light and luck on St. Patrick's Day for these Raiders, who are down 13-8, 2 outs. Bottom of the 7th inning. The pitcher is Carter Lawrence. Count goes to 1-1, nobody on. There's a ground ball hit to the shortstop. Alvarez comes in, he throws across, and that's the 3rd out. The Toros are going to walk away with a 13-8 victory at the hands of the Gulliver Prep Raiders. I'm Uncle Muggs saying thank you for watching. We'll see you tomorrow. We're going to be at Matter Academy. Remember to subscribe and follow us. And thank you for watching, everyone.